What's up guys, Kizzle here bringing you another episode of this Crystal Palace FIFA 16 career mode. We're going to start off with a little bit of training, and for a change, simulating it all, we get some really decent results. Nobody got lower than a C, we got a couple of A's in there as well. So really pleasing. We're going to help these players grow and keep improving the squad. We're focusing mainly on the youngsters, but youngsters that do play a lot of first team football. Now, as you know, the transfer window is now open. So we're going to be looking to bring in a few players and just boost the squad a little bit. One of those is Martin Odegaard, the youngster from Real Madrid. Everyone kind of raves about him. There's a lot of spotlight and potential knowing his ability. We're going to be looking to bring him in on loan, as well as Munir. Now, he's a player that we had on our FIFA 15 career mode when we done Southampton. Go through the vids and check that series out if you want to know what happened. But he was a very effective player for us. And as you can see, both Real Madrid and Barcelona have accepted the loan offers. So now we've got a decision to make. I've decided not to get both of them. We only want to get one of them. So I'm going to leave that kind of stalling for now. But you can see one of the players heading for the exit is Mal Jedinak. He's 31, doesn't play a lot of first team football, so we have decided to let him go. Everton offered 1.7. we put a counter in of 2.2. they come back with 1.9, and we thought, you know what, we're not going to risk losing the sale, and he is gonna, well, we're going to accept that offer, and he'll have the chance to talk to Everton over a potential move. But still, back to the matter at hand about the arrivals. It's Munir. He's the guy that we decided to bring in. We trust him that little bit more. He's more established, got more experience, that little bit older, and we just think he will generally be the more effective player of the two. So sorry for you guys that were rooting for Martin Odegaard, but it's just the way it is. We could only get one of them. Now, Aston Villa handed us our first ever defeat on this series, beating us with 10 men. Selhurst Park as well, surprisingly. So we've got a bit of a revenge mission here. They've got some good players, Scott Sinclair, Carlos Sanchez, Carles Gil as well as some very experienced players. You've got Mika Richards, Jolien Lescott at the back there as well. So very dangerous side, but here's how we line up. We've got some good players as well. Dele Alli, you can see, getting involved immediately, and Munir is on the bench. So hopefully he can come on and maybe have an impact to make his debut. Who knows? But we're going to begin the game negatively, actually. It's Villa who are on the front foot. Early doors, it's a header from a corner, I think from Lescott, and Cabaye has to do some defensive work on the line. And Villa continue to come forward in the opening half hour. They link up very well, cause us a lot of problems. Carlos Sanchez feeding the ball in, and the ball was just smashed wide of the mark, fortunately for us. But into the second half we go. And as you can see, that is handball. My first instinct said it was handball. I'm rooting, shouting at the TV, absolutely screaming for this handball. And as you can see from the slow motion replay, it's handball. Can't believe he's got away with that, Brad Guzan. The ball is touching his right hand at the moment, so handball should be given. That is clearly outside the area, but we don't get it. And of course, we're moody at that. We're disappointed, but we brush ourselves off. Decide to come forward and take the game to Villa a little bit. Now, Jamie Vardy, who's scored a few goals for us lately, skips inside, curls the ball towards the far post, but Brad Guzan pulls off an absolutely quality save, to be honest with you. And Tayson, the man who scored in the first game, remember that long ball over the top from Alan Hutton, I think it was, and Tayson got on the end of it. He wins a free kick here right on the edge of the box. They completely do us here. We weren't expecting this layoff. Everybody froze apart from Kurt Zouma, who put his body on the line and managed to deflect the ball out for a corner. But that corner wasn't dealt with particularly well. It was punched away from McCarthy. Carlos Sanchez plays the ball into Bakuna here, and what a strike that is. Looping over the goalkeeper into the far post, top corner, absolutely no chance for him. And Villa could be handing us another defeat. As I said, they beat us at Selhurst Park, so hopefully we can avoid that. We've only got 8 minutes now to get back into the game. It's Pap Soare bursting on a run down the left-hand side, holds off loads of players, and then Jamie Vardy is on hand to divert the ball inwards. A real fantastic finish. He couldn't really miss, but it was a case of just getting the ball past the defender and making sure he hit the target. The ball come at him at some pace, but he managed to divert it goalwards and get us back on level terms. Vardy really starting to hit form now, scoring a few goals, which is really pleasing to see, because Berahino, as we've said before, is struggling to find form. But he comes on, Berahino, just to give us a bit of fresh legs as the game comes to a close. Villa have the opportunity there, but fortunately the shot was straight at McCarthy. And then up the other end, you can see Munir on his debut, of course, now come on as a substitute. Cuts inside onto his left. He's left-footed, of course, so onto his stronger left foot. Thought he was going to score here, but somehow the ball is kept out, and then we move into stoppage time. But Munir was very much a danger man. He finds space again down the right-hand side, decides to cut back again onto that left foot of his. This time he bends the ball to the far post. It looks to be going wide before Jolien Lescott deep deep into injury time, diverts the ball past Brad Guzan, and it looks as though the revenge mission is complete and is going to be a success. You can see the ball was not heading in, so that should technically have gone down as an own goal for Lescott. It didn't. It went down as Munir's goal, and it was the winner. So really pleased that he's managed to make an instant impact. So after that win, it's time to put our business hats back on and dive back into the transfer market. You can see confirmation there that Jedinak has gone to Everton, and with a little bit of money has been added to our budget, and we decide to search for a new number 2, and by number 2 I mean backup goalkeeper. Obviously we've got McCarthy with the club, who's made a few mistakes in recent weeks, but I'm not confident in Wayne Hennessy's ability to come in and do a decent job. I know that's pretty much an unfair judgment, as I haven't really given him the chance, but we're going to go for a young backup keeper. Obviously here I'm looking at Sergio Romero because his valuation was low compared to what I thought it should be. He could be an ideal scenario with Jack Butland in the mix as well, Fraser Forster also. So probably a goalkeeper is what we're looking to bring in. We sent inquiries for so many people, not just goalkeepers, but you can see Stoke getting back to us to say they want £6.5 million for Jack Butland. We decided to offer 3.5 plus McCarthy. I know it doesn't really gain, but I think at the age of just 22 he's got a lot more potential. But Fraser Forster, they come back and said they want 5.5, so a little bit less. Again, we're going to try and use McCarthy as bait in the deal, going in the other direction in the hope that Southampton will accept. But like I say, we sent inquiries for so many players. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. Players such as Dungu Tafak from Barcelona, Lewis Holtby, anybody that you can imagine. A lot of the players that you guys have suggested in the comments. But, see my voice squeak there, brilliant. Anyway, a lot of the players that you guys suggested in the comments, but it just wasn't able to make a deal happen, so I'm not going to bore you and show them all. But the goalkeeper is the main priority for us at the moment, having already brought in Munir, of course. But Man United say the offer that we made for Sergio Romero was unacceptable, so we decided to go back, offer them a little bit more, 3.9 million, and we took McCarthy out the deal, so just 3.9 million flat out cash. You can see again our offer for Butland, who to be honest probably would be our preference of the goalkeepers. Our offer for him was rejected yet again, so this time we're going to go back in and offer Hennessy as part of the deal. So 3.5 million, well 3.9 million plus Hennessy is what we've offered this time, in the hope that they'll accept that. In the meantime, Southampton did accept the offer that we made for Fraser Forster, which was good news for us, of course, which meant we can now negotiate with the player himself. His wage demands are fairly high, but he is a very established goalkeeper, of course, has played for England as well. So we decided he demanded 50. We thought we'd give him 47. Sweeten the deal with a bit of a clean sheet bonus and offer him important first team player status as well. But as you can see, West Ham have gone in for Jack Butland as well, so we've got a little bit of competition on our hands if we want to bring him in. What we decided to do, obviously being deadline day as well, just to judge the budget a little bit, in the hope that if they accepted that transfer offer, that we would basically be able to offer him more wages than West Ham, because we're going to see off any competition. Like I say, is our preference of goalkeepers. He's the one that we really want to buy, so we adjust the wage budget a bit. We also asked for some additional funds from the board, not a lot, but in the hope that we could maybe, get another player as well, but it didn't happen. Sergio Romero, the £3.9 million bid that we made for him was accepted, but look at his wage demands. He's asking for 80k. There's absolutely no way we are going to adjust our budget to accommodate that at all. So instead we offer him what we can, and we think if he wants some first team football, he's going to have to take what he's given. But it didn't happen. But again, bad news on the Jack Butland front. Stoke rejected our offer, so we decided, after adjusting the budget a little bit, we decided to offer 4.5 mil, which is what West Ham offered. So hopefully, obviously there we get the prompt to adjust the wage budget, which we do, of course. Hopefully they'll accept that. As you can see, Fraser Forster in the meantime has agreed terms to join the club, which I'm really pleased about. Fraser's a very good goalkeeper, lots of potential with him as well. Obviously he's a bit more established, a little bit older, but we're holding off. Butland is our main target. So the hours passed by on deadline day, 6 hours to go now. You can see that the West Ham offer for Butland has been accepted at 4.5, so hopefully so will ours be. And as you can see from the bottom of the emails there, Stoke did accept our offer, but Sergio Romero come back with a counter offer. Having already negotiated successfully with Forster, we decided to end negotiations with Manchester United and focus on just the other two targets. Now Butland Wage demands a lot lower than Fraser Forster, which is fantastic. Obviously, we're going to offer him a little bit more than what he wants after West Ham are in discussion with him as well, with the full 20% clean sheet bonus, in the hope that he makes the right decision and moves to Selhurst Park. So we wait patiently, time is ticking down, and there is the news that we'd all been waiting for. Jack Butland rejected West Ham and has agreed to join Palace. Now, obviously, that gives us a bit of a dilemma, because obviously we've got McCarthy. He's had a very good season. He's kept the most clean sheets in the Prem so far. Do we just drop him and put Butland straight in? I'm not too sure. We'll see how we feel on match day, but obviously with the news that Butland's coming in, we can end negotiations with Fraser Forster. Sorry, Sam, I know you wanted to join. We wanted you to join initially as well, but we've got Butland now, so jog on, mate, basically. Yeah, confirmation of it there. Butland's in. Delete that email and time goes on. But what we decide to do is just make sure that everybody's listed that we want listed. A lot of these players that are not getting any first team football at all. And Jonathan Williams, who's just come back from loan, we decided to put back on the loan list. He's a player that actually looks decent. I don't know a lot about him, to be fair. So we had him on the loan list. Boateng as well. Scales as well. You've got Friars, the young left back. He's 23 years old. I didn't quite think he was that old, so he needs to start getting some first team football. Needs to start developing sooner rather than later. Now, Damien Delaney, as you know, his contract's expiring in January at the end of the season anyway, so we decide just to put him on the list. Hopefully we can cash in. And now obviously when Butland coming in, McCarthy didn't go out, so now we have 3 goalkeepers. I only like to have 2. So we're putting Hennessy on the transfer list as well. Hopefully we can just recoup a bit of the funds that we paid for Butland and get some more money in the bank. But that's pretty much it. The rest of the deadline day was pretty quiet. As you can see, the hours are now ticking down. There has been some crazy deals. As you can see, Eden Hazard's gone to Real Madrid. Jerome Boateng's gone to Barcelona for 38.5 mil. I know on Chesnoy's, I think he went for about 55 mil, which is ridiculous. Felipe Coutinho, of course, has left the Prem as well. He's decided to join PSG. But as far as we were concerned, business is done. The board very kindly, after the transfer window closes, decide to offer us the extra funds that we wanted. They are no use now, but thanks very much. But as you can see, confirmation of it there, business for us is done. And the immediate dilemma and the problems from having 2 very established goalkeepers is clear to see. Alex McCarthy, we decided to put Butland in the team, and McCarthy immediately came to us, say, what are you doing? I'm playing well, I want to be playing the next game. But it is business, you know, we're going to give Butland the opportunity. McCarthy, as we said, has made a few mistakes in recent weeks. He loses his #1 shirt, but it's time to take a trip to the Liberty Stadium next. I think we drew the home version of this game, the reverse fixture 0-0. We've been on a decent run of form lately. Of course, we were disappointed to concede the late equaliser against City, but we played really, really well that game. And obviously we picked up the win after going behind late on against Aston Villa as well. So hopefully we can get into a good run of form. Swansea, a very, very dangerous side. I think we played them quite recently as well. But you've got Gylfi Sigurdsson, Andre Ayew, who's been very good for them in real life this season in his first Premier League year. John Joe Shelvey, Jack Cork, a lot of good players in that side. But here's our team. As you can see, the main news, Jack Butland is starting. The rest of the team is pretty much as you were. We're starting to really work out what our strongest 11 is, which is fantastic to see. But as you can see, early doors we start positively. It's about half an hour into the game before the first opportunity. Jamie Vardy testing Tremmel, who is preferred in goal, and he pulls off a decent save. But we're approaching half time. Vardy holds the ball up well. We hit Swansea on a bit of a counter attack here. It's Yannick Bolasie on the right hand side. It gets behind the defence, uses his pace, but unfortunately it's another good save from Tremmel to keep us at bay. But Swansea were going to have a chance of their own before the half-time interval. You can see a lot of twisting and turning here. The ball's played into the feet of Jack Cork. It's then laid back to Eder, who has a decent shot. Butland seemed very, very calm to watch that go wide, but it was just inches, as you can see from that replay, literally inches away from giving Swansea the lead. But moving into the second half, of course, score is still nil. Yohan Cabaye has a good effort. He's been our on-form player this season, definitely by far our most consistent and best performer. He tests the palms, but Tremmel makes another good save and bats the ball away. And then Swansea have an opportunity from a set piece, which we don't really deal with. The ball falls to Amat, who smashes the ball in. So no debut clean sheet from Butland, even though we're not going to hold him responsible. About 12 yards out, all the time in the world to just smash the ball into the far corner. There's no chance any goalkeeper is going to save that. You could probably have 2 in there and they wouldn't save it. And then in retaliation and frustration at going behind, check out this 2-footed lunge from Bolasie. That is an awful challenge. leaves the floor with both feet. We're going to look at the slow motion replay because I couldn't believe my eyes first of all, but that is a full-on lunge to take Montero out. He's lucky didn't, receive any serious punishment for that. But we made a few changes. Jason Punchin coming on. We know he's been effective from his other performances this year. Very good impact player. Passes it on to Munir, who also come on. He finds Kabai, but unfortunately the effort straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. So we're still chasing that equalising goal. But Swansea, they didn't just shut up shop. They did continue to come forward. Bafferton, Bigomi hitting the crossbar here. And eventually we managed to get the ball away. But that was the last opportunity of the game. We couldn't salvage anything late on like we did at Villa Park. And we're going to suffer a 1-0 defeat at the Liberty Stadium. And then the dilemma of the goalkeeping issue after one game continues to drag on. McCarthy expressing his disappointment at not starting. But let's have a look at the league table. Despite that defeat, we do remain in the European places. We are 5th, but obviously you can see now the gap is starting to open up between the top 4 and the rest of the table, where we got Arsenal in 6th and Liverpool in 7th. They're now just 1 point behind us. Southampton only 2, and then Man United in 9th. So it is outside those European places. Well, outside the top 4, it is very, very close. You've got Chelsea, City, Everton and Spurs. But we're not too worried about what the other teams are doing. We've just got to focus on ourselves and make sure we pick up as many points as we can in the second half of the season. Don't forget the aim was to just get a safe, solid mid-table position, and we are currently on course to exceed those expectations, but we must keep our feet on the ground and not be too disappointed if we don't. But that's going to bring the episode to a close, guys. Make sure you like the vid, subscribe to the channel if you're new, follow me on social media as well, and I'll see you next time.